Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Saboteur. Psy-Freak. Commando. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Saboteur. Saboteur chosen. Good choice. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the dark side of you. Your inner voice, to be precise. An echo of the balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
Can't believe you'd choose that thing over me. But I'll be here waiting for you when you have a change of heart.
That thing? I'm right here. Let me remind you, we're two halves of the same. With the difference being I'm the better half.
Better half. My way is both better and brighter. Light makes it easier to see the best end.
The best end is the one you decide yourself, and it seems we're headed in the right direction.
Guess left can be right sometimes. Stories of death and the bodies left behind. A reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. Stay on target. Dead already. Carving it up. Ha! Oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death. But some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Got more than a flesh wound. King! Wiped out. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. You the Prowler. sight looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Cutting edge. Slash and dash. New mutations to embrace. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. That's going to leave a mark. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. Hold on to that. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out... He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't... He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's... The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as a... The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar. It's a scar you're covering under that eye patch, isn't it? But he would have reckoned... There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin... He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided, and... After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted. Had it not been... Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. Sounds like he... He understands why you came. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. You found one. The Nono's key energy is just what the The small tree you saw up there where you met will... You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow... You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to... You hand... He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there. Oh, it'll need a continuous flux of ki over the... One day... From this day on, one day, the land won't be as peaceful. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before... That's not true. She's the... He lost you. He says the tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after. The genetic... His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc-Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Nocco has tamed the midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one... The road ahead won't be easy. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree...
No.
His friends have prepared something specific for each World Eater. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other... He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. He can't understand why you'd do such a thing. He won't make it out of here on his own.
Good work, clever clogs. Let me guide you into the dark.
Seriously? I always thought better of you than...
And you were wrong. There's always more dark.
There's still time to turn back.
They're already heading down my...
There's Out of Date again. He must have missed something important. Out of Date knows you'll make a better stand against the world. The Jackney... Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jackney tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jackney isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of Date says someone needs to break... He believes the tribe Sifus, Jackney especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. He believes you share Jackney's view on the... He'll be waiting for you. Regardless, you'll meet a... Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? That's a flesh wound. Hey, nice shot. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. Flex up. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Understands you have other places you need to go. Says they're cautious of non-allies. Thinks you should just put one paw ahead of the other.
Vanen aginkanman. Geradna fal hutut mustugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 1. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scab. He's convinced you've returned for a reason and is glad. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. There were 6 of them, but the unity fell apart after Lupa Lupin attacked the old village. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understand. Says there has to be some dark so that light can prove its purity above it, and promises this will happen if. He had a feeling you'd say. He thinks you should reconsider and follow your heart instead of your mind. Otherwise he'll have no choice but to treat you as a rival. He offers you to return and take your place. And with that, he urges you to seek protection at Jagni's Stick Fort as soon as you can. He won't be able to guarantee. He says that not taking a side in the tribe war is the same as taking the other. Goodbyes are not forever. They're not the end. He... It's a bridge. Just get over it. They've destroyed this area, muddied up what used to be muck, as if it wasn't bad enough before the tribe war began. That's the Jagni tribe's fort. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war, or part of the problem.
But I realize.
Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war.
Just a full.
Doesn't know if the Sifu will have time.
Moi totloho. Kariesne stace. Paro.
The Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomes you to the Jagni fort and introduces himself as the tribe's seat. The news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 preceded you. The wall that separates them from the other side, the wasteland you came from. He understands that sometimes we need to lose ourselves. There's something about your spirit that sparks. Sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma. Your Muma invented one. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can vanquish the other tribes. The one he wants to deal with first is the Myriad tribe. The Jagni's destiny is to do what others are too afraid to do, to vanquish Their kin must put an end to the war before war puts an end to them. It'll cost bruises and broken bone. They have no intention of letting this drag out, or they'll run. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both share dark thoughts, so they want to wage a war. A war where tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival out. Once you've conquered the rival's outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu for Your Muma taught each disciple a weapon. She never intended it for hunting, nor war, but seeing you brings back his memories of the... Jagni doesn't want a new unity between the tribes. Their goal is to become He remembers your kind and unselfish soul, and can sense you still have it in you. Anyway, you'll pass your old village on your way to the first rival outpost, but we've got... He can't blame you for not remembering, but he can set... You have orders to follow. It's time for you to... Says it's good to meet a fellow Yin Jagni. Understands you have...
cwera pratzewa. Di wedi ta
Mentions a place not...
naund la brikti.
Rentabjuk hernud.
The gatekeeper welcomes you back to the fort.
Kula manjala. Kalafala bajjanani.
You have orders to follow.
Is it moi?
Says let's see. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop says he wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. Why not? He says, that wasn't too bad, was it? At least you learn. But you need practice. Lots of practice. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only... Judging by your Muma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun... You should know. She'll see you at the village square. She says... Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. He was... He wonders what useful... He can work wonders with all... You did well, but he can't... He understands. He's looking... It looks like she's starting to lose her pace. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants you to... You've always followed... They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He's not scared of it. There's no way they'll let you. He wants to know who you think you are.
Bogois Manura.
You'll have to face pain at some...
Andro?
She asks if you're hurt. What happened?
Apli tonumuta.
If
Sanna jote. Amun.
It's time to focus on your training now.
Bola kamunum rutna.
Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best.
Kunududua.
Seeing you always puts a smile.
Sigaya lakmashaku hersave. Daremayak. Kidlo.
He's curious to see what you...
Kaffee.
He's all...
Ekaya baravka. Vaksa u in eskaya mako.
The style might be too...
Eskaya mako.
You should take it with you. Where...
Maskilka Michalta Monteo Mastola.
Amun.
Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Kalino?
Hopes you're as ready.
Kala.
She says she is eager to...
Den nampusa.
But there's enough time left for...
Aria roche nui mumera. Aria roche nui mumera.
Your Muma says you did well today.
Apli tonumuta. Pala.
Been working...
Inadabsunka.
You should go...
Pendrine senema.
Catchy.
Gendrana mala.
Your Muma says she's never...
Polakuto. A sadurutu. Tropalo. Canamunta.
Your Muma...
Chialdo male.
Rest,
Canorutu.
and you'll find strength. Nothing could stop Lupin from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him. Lupa... Whatever. She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity, when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. Let's see. The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose. It was harder than expected to take down. They've received news a Ronin joined the tribes. You should hurry there and help them storm the outpost. Move like a dancer. Look, an emergency box from the old days, when you... Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? Flash the slash. You look good in that. Stylish as stylish can be. That notice board? Filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one. The Toxanol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it away. Well, small ones. Places like this were cheap. There must be a track somewhere. As long as karma exists, the world changes, and we change with it. This corner of the world is called Bricktown. You found the track! Amazing it wasn't destroyed. So much of this place was just discarded. Lucky that... No, it was never nice. The tracks moved on from Brick... Looks like the Fry Sparker's knobs need to be in sync if you want to get the hardware working. It's a Fry Sparker mindset. Boom, you got something. It's not exactly what you wanted, but you got it right away. Control your destiny, or someone else will. Up for grabs. A flush stool. Seems like the tighteners on the piping need to be unturned correctly to drain the flush stool. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's the kind of trouble you really want to wash away. We are lonesome animals that spend all our life trying to be less lonesome. It's so dark out. Let's see. Never know what's hiding out in the dark. Now, you need to get the pegs lined up to get the clothes soaker rolling. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You really put a spin on it. You have the grace. What? To build? What to build?